they start claiming they have found God and start to proclaim they have converted to a religion. This is always surprising because Hollywood and celebrities seem to be the furthest thing from God on earth. Still, celebrities proclaiming their new religious found beliefs seem to have become the new trend. It makes it seem that maybe change is coming, and Hollywood might be going through a conversion. But is that really the case? Are celebrities really turning to God? Or are there more other nefarious intentions behind this? Are these celebrities trying to spread the word of God? Or use God for some selfish, conniving reason? Are these celebrities praising God? Or are they selling God and preying on his followers? Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth.
So for those of you tuning in with us, we're reacting to this video here, Truth Is, on how a lot of these celebrities are using religion or in particular Christianity in this one and Jesus Christ as a means to mislead people.
In today's episode, we will be exposing some celebrities and pastors who are using God to rip off his followers. But before we begin, I just wanted to remind you that I am counting on you to help me spread these videos. We already know they don't like what we talk about on this channel and are doing everything to suppress it. You can help against that by helping me spread this content. If you want to help, all you have to do is subscribe if you're not, like the videos if you like it, comment, and most importantly, share it with others. Together we can get the truth out there. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. Recently, I have noticed that so many celebrities have been claiming they are now Christians. They have started to preach to their followers, telling them they have found God and instructing them to do the same. Finding God is always a great thing, and in today's world, where so many people have abandoned God, celebrities telling people to find God could be a really good thing. So many people look up to these celebrities, and their influence could help more people find God for themselves. But what happens when these celebrities aren't truly converting, but instead taking advantage of the Christian community to further their wealth? Christianity is still one of the biggest religions in the world, with millions of Christians in the United States alone. While Christians see this as a community, others see it as a market to tap into and extract money from. We have all seen the countless preachers and pastors building up mega churches that rake in millions a year, taking advantage of God and his people to enrich themselves. They drive luxury cars, live in mansions, and some of them even own private jets, all paid for by the donations given to them in the name of God. Recently, the world saw a perfect example of a greedy pastor just using God for money. Marvin Sapp is a Christian pastor who recently went viral, and it wasn't for his commitment to God. Instead, it was for his commitment to enrich himself using God's name and his followers. This video of Marvin Sapp went viral, showing him telling his audience that he needed $40,000 in donations by the end of the service, instructing his staff to lock the doors to prevent his congregation from leaving the church before he got his money. Marvin was heard pandering his congregation to donate $20 to $100 per person, all while he could be seen wearing a gold chain, an expensive watch, and even a gold bracelet.
When you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice. I asked each and every one of you, how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord? Everyone in this place said these words, I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement. In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency. Note, if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bitchute did. I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on the, take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. I'm about to go get in my truck. I'm going to my hotel. I got me some fruit. I'm doing fruit now. Fruit and water. I'm trying to look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all can walk out the door after you come up here. But make sure you come this way before you go out the door. That's it. Look at God. Look at what God has done.
The internet ripped them apart for this, as clearly this 40K wasn't going to help God's people in any way, but buy him more expensive things. Marvin locked his churchgoers in the building until he got his money. This is in a way kidnapping and honestly extremely disturbing. What made this even worse is that Marvin was exposed for hanging out with Diddy. He actually performed at Diddy's 50th birthday bash, which just so happened to be a pool party. It's crazy to think that a pastor would even be around Diddy, let alone at a pool party. But after seeing this video, you can see why. This man isn't.
Yo, that's crazy. I didn't even see the video, so that's kind of crazy. Like, how do you how do you just tell people you gotta give me $20 to $100 and I'm locking the door? That is wild. And then he's saying in God's name. That's crazy, man. See, these are the type of people that are going to hell, like straight to hell. Like, if there is like an afterlife and there's a heaven and hell, this guy is going to hell. Like, that is so crazy.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to talk and I realized my mic was muted, but dude, yeah, like I really don't know how you could. I would never be able to do this, even if heaven and hell wasn't real, bro, and like we don't go anywhere. It's like I would never be able to lie through my teeth like this and like mislead people, make them think it's for something else for money. You know what I'm saying? So it's really sick. You know, it's really like narcissistic too, that he just like has the guts to like lie like that right through his teeth and have a very straight face on about it. You know. But it's just more, I don't know what's even more insane though, him or the people falling for it. Like, as you were saying, you know, it's like the second a pastor mentions money, dude, like I would just walk right out. And be like, what do you mean lock the door? No, like, it's just let me out. But I mean, honestly, that if you're falling for this, man, still at this point, you know, for these phony pastors, preachers, teachers, whatever, you know, shame on you. You deserve to get your money taken at this point.
Yeah, honestly, it's sad that, you know, and you know, it's crazy. They use religion as a playbook. You know, they use it to guide people, to, you know, hold court over people, and they use fear to keep them trapped. You know, this guy is telling you to give money out of fear. You know, out of fear that you're not going to receive God's blessing. But that's so crazy to me. And then on top of that, the churches, none of them pay taxes to the government. So I should tell you everything you need to know. Like, the church is just a business.
Yeah.
And religion itself is a business. Because all wars stem from religion, you know? So, and then what happens when you go to war? There's money that's made. Somebody's making money off of it.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, man, it really is. But I'll continue this.
A pastor of God, let alone even a follower. He is just another crook using God's name to rob God's followers. Honestly, it bothers me so much when people like this use the Lord's name that they obviously don't even believe in to make millions. Recently, another pastor was exposed for similar behavior, but it wasn't just any pastor. It was the head of the White House Faith Office, Paula White. Paula White is an American televangelist, apostolic leader in the independent charismatic movement, and a proponent of prosperity theology. She was made the head of the White House Faith Office on February 7, 2025 by President Donald Trump, a position which he created. Now, don't get me wrong, the White House does need more of God, so this is a good thing, right? Well, wait until you hear what Paula is doing with this important position. Paula has recently gone viral, and just like Marvin, she is being called out for using God's name to rob her followers. Paula made a promotional video for her upcoming Easter service where she was seen encouraging people to make donations to her church. While this is common for churches, especially charismatic church leaders, what she said and promised for these donations are rubbing people the wrong way. As Paula told her followers that they would receive supernatural blessings if they donated at least $1,000 between Passover and Easter Sunday, claiming that if they made these donations, they would receive an assigned angel to them. God would also become an enemy of their enemy. He would also give them prosperity, cure your sickness, extend your lifespan, and even grant you special blessings.
And I believe that when you honor God on Passover, starting on April 12th at sundown through Good Friday on the 18th and concluding on Easter Sunday, you can receive these 7 supernatural blessings for you and your house. According to Exodus 23, God will assign an angel to you. He'll be an enemy to your enemies. He'll give you prosperity. He'll take sickness away from you. He will give you long life. He'll bring increase in inheritance, and he'll give a special year of blessing. You're not doing this to get something, but you're doing it in honor to God, realizing what you can receive.
For your special Passover offering of $1,000 or more as the Holy Spirit leads, you will also receive the beautiful 10-inch Waterford Crystal Cross. Don't miss your moment to release 7 supernatural blessings and provision into your life.
This is another insane example of people using God's name to rip off their followers and enrich themselves. Here, this woman is acting as God's salesman, promising that God will give you all these things if you give her $1,000. To sweeten the deal, she is willing to give you a crystal cross, likely worth $10 at best. This is truly disgusting, and it's laughable that this is who's chosen to run the White House faith office. What's really sad is that many people are actually paying this to her and expecting it to grant them all these blessings that she's promised. A woman who's already a multi-millionaire. Think about how messed up this is. It now seems that this same technique being used by these false prophets of God has been adopted by the celebrities of Hollywood. We see an example of this from one of the biggest names in Hollywood, Mark Wahlberg. For the last year, I have been seeing videos of Mark on social media telling people to pray and find God. When I first saw this, I was intrigued, as Mark Wahlberg, a successful Hollywood star who's still in the business, was openly repping God, something that doesn't normally happen. It is a great thing to see. I thought to myself, this could help those who follow him find God. An actor of his caliber preaching the good word and telling people to stay prayed up is great. Well, that was until I found out there was a monetary incentive behind his message. See, Mark Wahlberg, like the other pastors we spoke about, just wanted to tap into that lucrative Christian market. Mark found a way to make money off Catholics by investing in a prayer app called Hallow. Hallow is an American Catholic meditation and prayer app created by a man named Alex Jones. Not the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, but this Alex Jones. The Hallow app provides audio-guided Bible stories, prayers, meditations, and Christian music. If you're a Catholic, all of this sounds great, right? Until you realize the Hallow app is just another way to get people to pay a membership fee to unlock the free word of God. Mark Wahlberg has recently been making tons of commercials for this app, telling people to stay prayed up and then plugging in the app name. Now, the app does offer a limited free option where you can use the basic functions of the app for free, but they strongly encourage you to unlock the premium version where you can get full access to the app. You can either pay $10 a month, which is $120 a year, or $70 a year to be a member. Mind you, a Bible is only like $15. Mark invested in the app and became the significant owner of the app in 2022. Now, seeing Mark tell his followers to stay prayed up starts to look different, doesn't it? As this isn't about leading people to God, but redirecting their money to his accounts. This became even more apparent when Hallow ran an ad in the 2025 Super Bowl. A Super Bowl ad was reportedly being sold for $7 million for a 30-second slot. According to Alex Jones, the head of the organization, they got it for a bit less due to running it in limited capacity. But Hallow still paid in the millions to run this ad, meaning that they're raking in millions of dollars with this business. This lets you know it's all about money. Using the Super Bowl to get more people to pay a monthly subscription so the creators and investors can make bank. Mark Wahlberg is a multi-millionaire with so much money that he can easily help so many people. If he and the others were truly Christian and doing this to help spread God's word, they wouldn't be charging monthly subscriptions for prayers. Also, there wouldn't be investors either. As investors indicate, it's a business that's about profit. In my opinion, Mark Wahlberg and Hollow are just taking advantage of God's people, pretending to be for God when in reality, it's all about money, just like we saw from the Latin artist Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee is one of the most successful Latin artists in the world. He made hundreds of millions of dollars throughout his career. In 2022, he decided it was time to retire from music, announcing to the world that he was releasing his final album and embarking on his last tour before retiring to become a Christian pastor. This was shocking and surprising, as Daddy Yankee was known for making sinful music and never presented himself as a Christian. One day to the next, he started claiming that he felt empty and found what he was missing in Christianity and wanted to transition into that. This is when we started seeing Daddy Yankee showing up to churches to preach the word of God. It seemed like he was a changed man and had left his lucrative music career behind to become a pastor for God. Everything was going great, but after doing a few services, it didn't take long for people to start to realize this was just another sick money play. As at first, Daddy Yankee started doing the events for free, but then eventually the churches started charging $100 for a ticket to enter the church and $160 VIP ticket.
So Daddy Yankee's catching some heat because he started preaching and stuff, right? He started being a pastor, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, he found God. He retired from music, right? He retired from music. I mean, his whole ass too, he had a goal and a bunch of demonic symbolism in his stages and the performance and everything, right? But he starts preaching and whatever, and guess what? He's already charging people. He's charging people, man. The first few events were free, man. Now you got to pay $169, man, for a VIP ticket, bro. And these people's God literally is money, man. It's insane how you can have an entire career like a Daddy Yankee, man, and just have made so many millions of dollars. And towards the end of your career, you claim to find Jesus, man. You claim to find God, and you begin your path, with God, and you're quick to start charging people, man, to hear you talk. It's like, come on, bro. Come on, man. This is why I can never get behind these celebrities, man, who find God out of all of a sudden. They be lying like a...
When I looked into this, it turns out Daddy Yankee is charging these churches $100,000 to $200,000 for him to preach at their church. So the church is then selling tickets to attend, making it basically a music concert. Again, this is just another example of greedy celebrities taking advantage of God's people for money. Daddy Yankee is extremely rich, and if he truly cared for God's people, he would be doing these services for free. But we all know why he's truly doing it. What's interesting about all of this is that for Daddy Yankee's last album, he depicted a Baphomet on his album cover. He also showed this Baphomet at every concert he held. This is truly interesting because Baphomet is an alchemic symbol that represents man erecting to God, man becoming God. So Daddy Yankee held an entire concert and tour with the Baphomet logo and claimed this was the last tour before converting to a Christian pastor, where people have to pay hundreds of dollars to see him pretend to care about God. In reality, Daddy Yankee believes he's the God, and he knows those people are paying to praise him and worship him like they do at his concerts. This transition was very similar to what we saw Kanye West do. Back in 2019, the world saw Kanye go through a shocking transformation. He went from a rapper who glorifies sin in his music to a Christian artist who gave all the glory to God. In August 2019, Kanye announced to the world that he was dropping a Christian album called Jesus is King in October 2019. He also had started hosting Kanye Sunday church services earlier in the year. From all accounts, it appeared like Kanye had turned a new leaf, and just like Daddy Yankee, wanted to become a pastor. Kanye went around the US hosting these church services, getting people ready for his Christian album. This move severely helped Kanye's reputation and helped convert many Christians to Kanye fans overnight. For a while, things seemed to have been going great until Kanye revealed his true colors. In the last 2 to 3 years, Kanye has made it clear through his actions that the Christian era was just an act. Since Kanye transitioned to Christianity, we have seen Kanye parade his new wife around barely dressed, announce that he was launching an adult film site, and even claimed to have stopped putting belief in Jesus. As in this interview, he claimed that prayers don't work and that he doesn't trust in Jesus anymore.
At one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Sometimes you just want to say, man, not okay, but you just want to, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
But I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through.
I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through.
But I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society, in America, you know, people, Christians, we depend on Jesus so much that we're going to put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm going to pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray.
More than just pray.
He also recently said in an interview that he's evil and that he is the closest thing to God.
Why say Virgil after he passed? You know, they always say sometimes, you know, when someone passes away, you know, can't be for dead, you know? It feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there. I'm evil. You don't think about like his family and other people that love him? I am an evil person. You don't think that.
Wait,
I feel like you've always represented God-fearing ideals, though.
Yeah.
So how does that?
Justin,
how could you identify
God,
a person?
God has the wrath. You only play with God for so long. Y'all don't go to church? God is an angry God. God is a jealous God. What are you talking about? I'm the closest thing to God on earth. And I act just like how God acts. Like I go up when people, whatever interview you did previous to the interview of this interview, I guarantee you it's going to be more of a blessing than the previous interview. So what does God do? Bless.
Just like Daddy Yankee, Kanye's transition wasn't about God. It was about becoming God. Kanye convinced all his followers to worship him at his Sunday service. If people would have been paying attention to his Sunday service, they would have realized the signs were always there. As at his Sunday service, all they really did was sing Kanye's old songs with a church choir. Kanye has a God complex, and that is clear. A God complex that he fed by pretending to be a Christian. He tricked his fans into worshiping him as a god, and they didn't even notice it. He used his Christian fans to not only sell more records in the Christian market, but also to convince them to take his side, using them as leverage to get what he wants from his label. In my opinion, Kanye, just like the others, took advantage of God for financial gain, something he still does whenever he desires. For those of us who are Christian, I know we are told to be good people and help, but we can't let people take advantage of us. We must first identify the true intentions behind these people who are used by the enemy and all of a sudden claim they have become pastors. God warns us about false prophets, and in my opinion, every single person we spoke about today is one of them. Believe it or not, these people are truly working for the devil, and they are doing it proudly, as the devil is all about self-worship. Exactly what these people are doing. They are serving their greedy needs for endless riches using God's name. Don't be a victim of these spiritual crooks. You don't need celebrities to help you on your journey with God. All you need is faith, a Bible, and time to pray, which you can literally do anywhere. God tells us the church is within us, not a building. God is the only one who can save you. Let God take the wheel, and everything else will start to make sense. Well,
All right.
Yeah, something I wanted to touch on in the Kanye part. Kanye said, you know, I prayed to Jesus and, you know, I didn't see Jesus. And then he said, you know, he was basically saying, like, we have the power of our own to do something about it, right? And he's like, oh, a lot of people in America just want to pray but not do anything. I happen to agree with him on that. You know, I think that religion has allowed people to just pray and not be proactive. And he mentioned, Kanye said something like, oh, I'm going to pray for you. But instead, this person has the ability to actually help. So he makes a good point there. You know, people, they always say, I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to pray for you, but they never actually physically help you. You know what I mean? And that's a good point. I agree with him on that. Now,
Yeah, I do. There was stuff, even though Kanye, like, whatever, this guy, like, truth is more of a Christian guy, right? Am I not mistaken about him?
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I get, like, why it's, like, he might view what he's saying as completely bad. But, dude, the part where he was like, haven't you been going to church? God's a jealous God. God's, like, a God of war or whatever. He's like, you know, this and that. It is true, right? Because that's, like, what the Old Testament God basically is, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have that viewpoint. Oh, look how God is. He's an evil guy. You know, he's a bad guy. This and that. So it's again, whether it's an act or not, which it more than likely is. Like, dude, what was he wearing? What was that, KKK then?
Yeah, it was like a black KKK mask. I don't know what that is. Funny, it's kind of crazy.
I do. He looked freaky, bro. Like, imagine your boy wearing that. Like, yo, that's creepy as hell, man. You know.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
anyway, he makes a good point, like where he's like, yeah, well, it's like if you went to jail, right? Like, is your boy gonna come bail you out? And is like when shit hits the fan for you, basically, like who's gonna really help you? Who's gonna say they're gonna help you, but who's gonna really be there, right? That's like really what he's saying, and it's a good point because all these religious people, even people who aren't religious, just I'll pray for you, I'm praying for your family, like all these things. All right, but what are you actually doing? It's like I could pray that the world gets better and that my rent goes down and that groceries go down, gasoline goes down, my insurance goes down, but it's not going to happen, right? Like all these things, like a better world's not going to happen unless we take action, right? But people just want to have hopeism, sit back and just think that things are going to get better. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. People, they sit and they just watch. It's like they're players on a bench. They're not actually doing anything. They're not helping in the game. All they're doing is just hoping that their team wins. And that's the part about religion that I do not like is that it's caused people to be like lazy. It's like a lot of it is selfish too. A lot of people only believe in Jesus or whatever religion they believe in just for themselves, just so they can get the eternal afterlife. Just so they can go to heaven. It's not like they believe in the story or in the religion because they want to be a good person, because they want to help other people, and you know what I mean. Like you ask most Christians, they're just saying, "Yeah, I'm a Christian because I want to go to heaven, not because I want to change the world." And that's the part about religion I don't like, and it's like it's farming these type of people who think like this, and
Yeah.
it's really gross, honestly.
Yeah, man. It's what's annoying is people say, "Oh, I don't want to look at the dark stuff," or "Don't pay attention to the dark stuff," and or like it's not worth it. But you have to look at the dark stuff to understand the big picture. It's not like you ignore the positive or the good things. Of course, you take in the positive and all that, but you have to acknowledge the negative. You have to face it because quite frankly this world is negative. Like there's what in this world is happening right now that's really positive. A lot of things are negative. A lot of us are depressed, a lot of us are lost, a lot of us don't have many friends, a lot of us are single, not forming intimate relationships with the opposite sex. A lot of us are jobless too, right? There's big unemployment rates. A lot of us got worthless college degrees and are in $50,000 of debt now. So people aren't happy. People are not happy with how life is because realistically, no one wants to go to school, go to work, slave away for the rest of their lives, and just hope to retire one day when they're 65 or 70. And I think our generation in particular is more creative because of social media than the older generation, meaning we see that, oh, you can be more than just go to work. Even though our parents were more like, we're just gonna you have to just get the college degree and then you work and that's basically your life. But where it's like now our generation's like a lot of people, like younger people, are open to doing podcasts. Might not be about truth, but it's this narcissism, right? Where especially women, where it's just they just put gym outfits on and then all of a sudden they accumulate hundreds of thousands of followers and it's just but it's pure narcissism. It's just there's nothing that really adds benefit to the world through a lot of the stuff that is popular on social media. So I don't know where I was going with this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is people need to start focusing on what really matters because you can go to church on Sunday. You could make yourself feel all good by doing that. I've done that before. And it's not like we ignore Christianity, right? It's not like we ignore the wisdom in true Christianity because I've read the New Testament, right? And I learned like a lot of stuff, the teachings of Jesus Christ. It was very, that was probably my favorite part of the whole Bible was when he was in the world because he was giving a lot of wisdom and wise words to help better yourself as a person, right? So you have to take in not even just with Christianity, but the positives with whatever it is, and then you have to have the the intelligence to be able to weed out the stuff that you might know is wrong. Because again, religion is control. If you completely are bought into Christianity, you're gonna fall into traps like this. It might not be these people asking you for $1,000, but it might be your local church, and sure, they're talking about God and Christ, but are they talking about truth? Are they elevating your consciousness? Are they telling you what's really going on in the world? Are they 501c3? You know, so a lot of things to consider here. Like, we really need to unwire the way we've been taught, and we need to learn, completely rewire our brains. And I know it's a lot of work, but I'm telling you, being on a certain level of consciousness. Sure, it's annoying because most people aren't there, but you are going to be ahead of the curve, and you don't want to be like the sheeple out here who are constantly behind, constantly panicking, scrambling, thinking the news is real, thinking politics are going to save them. You know, you don't want to be like these people. They're always caught up, and they're always in the wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, it just goes to show like how much influence these celebrities have too. Like, look at Kanye, Mark Wahlberg, and then this white lady who works in the Trump. These people are like the biggest crooks they're out there. You know what I mean? Like, these are the biggest crooks in the world because not only are they, you know, using God as like a cover and Jesus as a cover, but they're smiling in front of these people's faces, thinking that, hey, yeah,
Yeah,
they're giving people false hope. You know, it's like it's crazy how people.
that to me is what's so sick, bro, about like these people. You know.
Right. Yeah, it's like for you to give people false hope, like you're half, and then you go to sleep at night knowing you're scamming people. You are one sick individual, and like it makes you question, like, you know, the dark things that these people are into. You know, all the conspiracies that you hear about these celebrities and these rituals that they do with like children, and you know, with all types of like witchcraft stuff. It makes you really believe, like, okay, they probably are doing this sick stuff. You know, and it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mark Wahlberg. I haven't seen much, but it's interesting how I guess they chose him because he's always had like that tough guy persona. You know,
hmm
like that. He's jacked, right? He's always been in like he's always kind of been the tough guy in movies, this and that.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen anything on him? Like, what exactly does he say?
I personally, I haven't seen his new
He's
like.
like conservative and all that.
Say it again.
He's like a big conservative and Trump guy. Is that what he is, Mark Wahlberg?
I guess he is. I don't really know. I haven't heard about this new thing he does with the Catholic Church, but
Uh,
I know for sure like a guy like him doesn't, you know, they don't serve God or the true God that
yeah,
we, you know, believe in. These people are satanic, you know. And you can just look at on their faces like they look like frauds, you know. I just feel bad for the people who fall for this stuff and actually donate their money to these sickos.
yeah, man. It's. I mean, I hope people aren't doing stuff like that, but not even just with Christianity, dude. It's funny, we were talking about it in our last deep dive, and I've been mentioning it a little bit in some of my videos. Is the retreat, right, to this whole Jesus Christ thing, and it also with Islam. It's because the powers that be know there was probably going to be some sort of pushback, and they, of course, through Christianity for a lot of the conservative types, and same with Islam, right, where you have guys like Andrew Tate, Sneeko, Myron Gaines, you know, people like them promoting Islam, and now that got really big, and it's like I feel like a lot of men like the Islamic culture because of the women, how like the women are completely submissive to the man. You know, it's a complete male dominator thing, and you know the extreme with Christianity is the same. It's like men just want like that submissive wife. You know, they want a slave basically.
Yeah,
So
it's demonic, honestly.
yeah, and I fell for that. I used to think that was the right way because of the Bible, right, and all of these things. Um, but it's just a hyper masculine mindset. It's I think it's right brain dominant or whatever, which is where it's the masculine way of like you're basically ignoring your divine feminine, let's say, and completely just going right in with the masculine. You know, it's hyper masculine is what I'm trying to say, and it's putting women down. You know, and I know a lot of red pill guys. The second I start even like saying red pill is wrong, oh, this guy is just a simp. It's like, dude, all these red pill, black pill dudes, all the only word they have to use against me ever is simp. It's like, yo, like this word is so 2019, man. Like, when are we gonna stop using this word? It's overused. It's like the word, oh, this guy's racist or this guy's, anti-Semitic. Like these words just get overused to where they serve no purpose anymore. So anyway, what I was saying is, it's really interesting how the powers that be they knew that people were going to yearn for truth and a savior, so they threw it's really big with the Jesus Christ. These a lot of these influencers claiming that Christ is king and they're Christians, this and that. And then, it's just you watch the way they live life. Just listen to the way they speak, even not even the way they live life. Listen to how they talk, and like I'm just like, yo, like this is just such a joke. And then again, as I was saying, the Myron Gaines, the Sneeko types, they're doing the Islam stuff, the Tate, right? They push all that, and then along with that, you get the whole really big not anti, but the JQ movement, right? Where the JQs are they control everything. You have that push as well. So it's funny. You have a lot of stuff with religion going on right now, and a lot of the stuff too, man. It's on the internet, right? Like this prejudice stuff, the racist stuff, even the sexist stuff, like the misogyny, misandry, whatever. This is like online. Like, how often do you really come across people that actually say these things to someone's face, or you see people having conflicts, like you see the way people argue online, the stuff people say. Not that
Right.
it doesn't happen, but it's very rare.
Yeah, it
So
is rare.
it's like, yeah, so it's like the internet is almost like the zone where people can go to let out whatever steam they have about, and they can do it anonymously, right? They don't have to show themselves even, just your average everyday person, and whether or not they're trolling or what, it's like this plays an influence on people. Like if you're watching someone for so long and they're talking about black people a certain way and you're white, like you're gonna view black people a certain way. The same goes for vice versa, right? So we got to be careful on who we're listening to, and we got to be careful on the information, I guess we could say, we're consuming day in and day out. Because let's just say someone like Nick Fuentes, right, who's like he's popping off a lot on X. Same with Myron Gaines, like he's all over X. He's doing a lot down there with different platforms, and it's
Yeah,
like, dude, like these guys are saying good stuff, but they're misleading you. They're overall misleading the people.
they're both fraud. Like they're like, I don't understand how people even look at these people and think like they're good people. Like, first, that Myron guy, he's done some wild stuff on the internet and said some wild stuff too. Like, to take any type of advice from a guy like that, you got to be like really brainwashed in the head to
Yeah,
think that dude is someone worth listening to. The Nick Fuentes guy, I heard a little bit about him. I heard he's like what I've seen from him. He just seems like a scummy, like rich, privileged kid. You know what I mean? Like he just seems like he's just scummy and he's like racist too. Like it's like
yeah, he is. Like, dude, the thing is, Myron Gaines too. He like is part black. Myron, I think he's actually part black, part Muslim or something. But like,
yeah,
he's
screw that
racist.
guy.
Him and Sneeko, right? Sneeko is also part black, if you know him. But like, they're racist towards like their own people.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
because they're
reason
put
why they're
in.
getting
No, yeah, I was just saying they're put in position for a reason to do that. You know.
yeah. And like, because here's the thing, so many people just woke up in 2020. That's the thing. Is a lot of people who are like waking up and falling for the Trump thing. It's like people who woke up because of COVID, you know. And it's like they're not seeing the bigger picture. They don't know politics is fake, or like they don't know like who the real controllers are of the world. So these guys like Myron Gaines and Nick Fuentes make so much sense to them because they're saying things that are true. Like Myron Gaines, even though that he says ridiculous things, it's like some of the shit he says about women is true. It's like the ridiculousness with them, and even the stuff about men he says, like the ridiculousness even with us, like our generation, and like porn, OnlyFans, whatever, how we actually pay for it, and so people are late, right, to the game. They're so late to the truth game that like stuff that maybe me and you have known for like almost 10 years is like people are just finding out. And Nick Fuentes and Myron Gaines maybe talked about it 6 months ago, and they're getting credit for it, so it's like, oh well, they talked about this 6 months ago. And mind you, of course, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, these guys probably already know. They're being told, of course, what to say from higher powers, the people that control them. So they're just getting credited. So it's like they look like they're way smarter than they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like those type of people, man, you just gotta have discernment. If you don't have discernment, you're gonna fall for the Kanyes, the Mark Wahlberg, the Fresh and Fit guys. Like you're gonna fall for them if you don't have true discernment. Because
Yeah. Like look at Kanye right here, man. Like he looks creepy.
yeah, and you can tell he's pushing an agenda. He's behind some type of cabal that's telling him to do all these crazy antics. It's just sad because when Kanye first came out, he was amazing. Like as an artist, and then the things that he would say in public, like he was like a true like stand up guy, right? And then soon as he got like really big, he just flipped the switch, and I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. Well, ever since he got with Kim K, right? Like wasn't the movie oh shoot. What was that movie where the white guy, I mean the white girl gets a black boyfriend and she takes him out like to the middle of nowhere and they end up like trying to kill him? Pretty famous movie. What is it called?
Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah.
that? I heard that was about his life, Kanye's life.
Yeah, it probably is. It's
And that
definitely
the girl is representing Kim Kardashian.
yeah. It's definitely like in the realm of possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, because even the song Heartless, right? You know that song that came out probably like 2009 or something.
Yeah.
But like I always listened to that like as an adult when I got older and I was awake. I was like, yo, this sounds like it's about Kim Kardashian.
I think that song came out
Like
before
how
they
he
met.
how he like sold out, because Kim
Yeah.
Kardashian made him more famous. It's kind of like him elevating. And
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I think that song came out before they met, but um, still, Kanye's always been a controlled plant from the day one.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's super famous, man. He's like Justin Bieber famous.
Yeah, of course. It's just sad, man, how people fall for that.
Yeah, man. So my final thoughts, man, is just, like you said, discernment is really important because, man, we're at a point where, like we were just saying, there's these micro influencers like Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Nico, Jake Shields. I mean, whoever, right? These guys who got a decent amount of following and are influencing the truth community for the most part. You got to have discernment because they're not completely wrong. No, what they're saying, there's stuff they're saying that's true, but overall, they're leading you down the wrong path, and they're plans because if I was saying the stuff that they said, they're like, I mean, and I had somehow 500,000 followers, let's say, I would be silenced. My accounts would be deleted, but they're remaining around. They have platforms with big followings for a reason. And it's not because I'm hateful or jealous. I mean, of course I wish that I had more followers or whatever, but I'm just saying the truth. This is how it is right now. This is why truth and all these things, it's getting tricky. And this is why discernment is important because you have to hear people that, just because some of what they say is true doesn't mean that they're completely right. You got to keep watching them. You got to yourself have to understand what's really taking place. And if you understand politics is fake, okay, that's great. That's a really good starting point. But then, don't fall into the JQ rabbit hole of being like, oh, well, it's all them, this and that, because it's beyond that. There's controllers beyond them and beyond the occult. It's ultimately the people. It's me and you, all of us that control everything, because overnight we could change everything if we stop complying and feeding the beast system. But obviously people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to suffer.
Yeah, we outnumber them by a large amount. So the power is in our hands as people. The power is definitely in our hands.
Yeah, so discernment is important. And that's really all I got to say. If you guys could, like it was just saying there, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think. And Shammy, unless you got any final thoughts, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Nope, that's it for me. Peace out.
All right, guys. Good night.